I want to start by telling you something very important. I am here to help you become the leader of your own life. Because the truth is, most people today are not leading their lives. They are just busy working, paying bills, chasing tasks, and reacting to whatever happens to them. They are surviving, not really living. Many people wake up, rush to work, do what they are told, come home tired, and then do it again the next day. They never stop to ask, is this the life I want? Did I design this life, or am I just reacting to whatever comes? This is what we are talking about today: living life on purpose, not by accident. Living with intention instead of just reacting. Because when you live in reaction, stress becomes your constant companion. Stress shows up when you feel like everything around you is controlling you. But here's the good news: when you learn how to design your life with intention, you will still face problems, yes. Life will still interrupt you. But your ability to handle those problems will change completely. You will have a new way of thinking, a new tool, a new system that can help you focus not on the problem, but on the solution. I want to introduce you to something called RPM. RPM is not about cars or speed, it's about a system of thinking. A way to direct your mind so that you stop wasting energy on problems and instead pour energy into solutions. Here's the rule: you should spend no more than 5% of your time on the problem, and 95% of your time on the solution. Imagine that. Think of how many times we do the opposite. We sit with the problem. We complain. We tell ourselves stories about why it happened. We even feel stuck for weeks or months because we can't stop focusing on the pain. But when you shift your thinking to the solution, something magical happens: you become a leader in your own life. Leaders don't drown in problems. Leaders see problems, but then they ask, okay, what's next? How do I solve this? How do I move forward? This is what RPM does. It teaches you to change the habit of your thinking. And if you never write a single note, if you never use a computer or a journal, if all you do is learn this thinking system, I promise it will change your life forever. Now let me share with you a story that shows just how powerful this can be. Because this isn't just about business, or success, or time management. This is about real life. About pain. About loss. About love. About finding meaning when your world feels like it is falling apart. Meet Justin Fox. He lives in Polk City, Florida. He had known about RPM for some time. He used it sometimes in business meetings, sometimes in planning. But he never realized how deeply it could change his life until tragedy struck. On May 4, 2023, Justin's daughter, Kay, passed away at just 20 years old. Think about that for a moment. Losing a child is every parent's nightmare. There are no words strong enough to describe the shock, the heartbreak, the feeling that the world has stopped spinning. Justin went through the shock. He went through the tears, the silence, the confusion. He faced the impossible tasks: planning his daughter's funeral, writing a eulogy, choosing a memorial stone. These are things no parent should ever have to face. But Justin did something powerful. In the middle of his grief, he felt guided to write a letter to his daughter's soul. In that letter, he made a promise: I will not let this be just pain. I will not let this loss only destroy me. I will find an empowering meaning in this. I will find a way to turn this darkness into light. He wrote to her, saying he would carry her in his heart. He would find ways to honor her, celebrate her, and make sure her name never faded. He realized something very important: nothing in life has meaning except the meaning we give it. For days after her passing, on May 8, Justin went out for a run. He didn't plan it. He didn't schedule it. He just started running. Maybe he was trying to run away from the pain. Maybe he was trying to feel alive again. But something happened on that run. When he returned home, he began to see a new way forward. He created a new RPM block, a new focus statement for his life. His goal became clear: to honor and celebrate Kay for the beautiful soul she is. From that decision, everything started to shift. Instead of drowning in the pain of losing her, he chose to celebrate her life. He created a scholarship fund in her name. He organized a memorial run for high school athletes, because running was one of his ways to feel connected to her spirit. He realized that by keeping her name alive, by making sure people spoke about her, he was giving her legacy wings. He was not just remembering her, he was letting her live on in the hearts of many. But something else happened too. As Justin used RPM to focus on creating a legacy for his daughter, he also started to ask, how can I be there for my wife and my other children? Because his daughter was not the only one affected. His whole family was grieving. And by shifting his focus, he didn't just rebuild himself, he rebuilt his family. He showed up differently in his marriage. He gave space for his wife to grieve in her own way. He supported his other children. Together, they learned to not just survive loss but to live with meaning through it. Today, Justin's family is not broken. They are thriving. They are closer. They have created a bond that is stronger than the pain. And why? Because they chose to focus not on what was lost, but on how they could honor, remember, and celebrate the love they still carry. Justin even used his running journey as a way to stay connected to Kay. Every step, every mile, became a prayer. A way of saying, I'm still with you. You are still with me. Running became not just an activity, but a form of love. This is the power of RPM. It is not just about productivity. It is not just about goals. It is about meaning. It is about creating emotional strength when life feels too heavy. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because one day, you will face pain. Maybe not the same kind of pain. Maybe not the loss of a child. But life will test you. It will break your plans. It will throw you into the unknown. And in that moment, you will have a choice. Will you react, drown in the problem, and let it destroy you? Or will you lead yourself, focus on the solution, and find meaning in the storm? This is why you must learn to be the leader of your own life. This is why RPM matters. Because leadership is not about leading a company. It's not about having followers. It's about leading yourself first. And here is the truth, no tool, no strategy, no advice in the world will save you if you don't learn how to master your focus. Focus creates meaning. Meaning creates emotions. And emotions create the quality of your life. So let me slow down and explain this clearly. RPM stands for result. Purpose. Massive action plan. Result, what do I really want? Not what I don't want. Not what I fear. Not what I'm trying to escape. But the true result I desire. Purpose, why do I want it? Why does this matter to me? What's the meaning behind it? Because if you don't have a strong why, you won't have the energy to keep going. Massive action plan, what steps will I take right now? Not small, weak, random steps. But real, intentional actions that move me forward. Think about this for a moment. When you face a problem, what do most people do? They complain. They focus on what's wrong. They blame. They tell the story again and again. That does nothing but keep them in the problem. RPM shifts your attention. What do I want instead? Why must I make this happen? And what can I do right now to move toward it? That is how you change your state. That is how you lead your life. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you come home from work, and your boss has been unfair to you. You're frustrated, angry, maybe even sad. You keep saying to yourself, this is not fair. He doesn't respect me. I hate my job. That's living in the problem. That's the 95% wasted energy. Now let's apply RPM. Ask yourself. Result, what do I really want here? Maybe it's respect. Maybe it's peace of mind. Maybe it's a better relationship with my boss, or maybe even a new job. Purpose, why do I want this? Because I want to feel valued. Because I want to provide for my family without destroying my spirit. Because I deserve to feel alive at work. Massive action plan, what steps can I take? Maybe I set a meeting to talk calmly with my boss. Maybe I update my resume. Maybe I learn a new skill to prepare for a better position. Do you see the difference? Instead of drowning in frustration, you have direction. Instead of saying, "Why me?" you're saying, "What's next?" And let me tell you something important: the purpose is the fuel. You can know what you want, but if you don't know why you want it, you won't move. Purpose is the fire that gets you out of bed when you're tired. Purpose is what keeps you running when your legs want to quit. Purpose is what gives meaning to your pain. This is what Justin understood. He didn't just say, "I want to honor my daughter." He said, "I want to honor her because she deserves to be remembered, because she touched lives, because as her father, this is my gift to her." That's purpose. And that purpose gave him strength to create a legacy in the middle of heartbreak. Now let's bring this back to you. Think about your own life. Where are you just reacting? Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's your finances. You feel stuck because you are giving all your attention to the problem. But what if today, you took that energy and shifted it? What if you asked, "What do I really want?" Maybe it's not just more money. Maybe it's financial freedom so you can spend time with your kids. Maybe it's not just to lose weight. Maybe it's energy so you can play with your grandchildren. Maybe it's not just to fix my marriage. Maybe it's to feel love and connection again. When you define the true result, and you connect to the deep purpose, suddenly the actions appear. You don't have to force yourself. You feel pulled. That's the power of RPM. Now let me remind you again, leadership is not about titles. Leadership is not about being the boss of a company. Leadership is about leading yourself. Because if you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead anyone else. How do you lead yourself? By mastering your focus. By deciding where your attention goes. By asking better questions. By refusing to be a victim of circumstances and instead becoming the author of your life. Think about it: if you don't lead your life, someone else will. Your boss will. The government will. The economy will. The culture will. And you will just follow. But if you want freedom, if you want joy, if you want fulfillment, you must decide, "I will be the leader of my own life." Stress is not the enemy. Stress is the signal. The signal that you are reacting instead of leading. When you lead your life with intention, problems don't disappear. But your strength grows larger than the problem. Spend 5% of your time on the problem and 95% on the solution. That's how leaders are made. Leadership begins with one person, you. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead anyone else. Your focus is your future. Wherever focus goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, life grows. Ask yourself, what do I want? Why does it matter? What can I do right now? That's RPM. That's leadership. Pain will visit you. Loss will visit you. But you decide what meaning to give it. That meaning will either break you, or it will raise you. Justin lost his daughter. He could have drowned in grief. Instead, he created a legacy. He turned pain into purpose. That is leadership of the soul. Nothing in life has meaning except the meaning you give it. If you can change your meaning, you can change your emotions. If you change your emotions, you can change your actions. If you change your actions, you can change your destiny. Life is not about avoiding storms. Life is about learning to dance in the rain. Your story is not written by circumstances. Your story is written by choice. You don't control the wind. But you control the sail. Adjust the sail, and you will reach your destination. Grief is real. Pain is real. But so is hope. So is healing. So is love. Justin runs to feel connected to his daughter. Every step is a reminder: love never dies. Legacy never dies. Spirit never dies. You have the same power. You can turn your darkest day into your greatest source of strength. But you must decide. Leadership is not about control. It is about direction. And you always control your direction. When the world says you are broken, you say, I am not broken. I am becoming. When the world says give up, you say, this is not the end. This is the beginning. When the problem feels bigger than you, remember, inside you is something bigger than the problem. Your life will always give you two choices, to react or to create. The weak react. The strong create. If you don't design your own life, someone else will design it for you, and you may not like their design. Every day you are building a story. Question is, are you writing it on purpose, or just letting it be written for you? The future is not something you walk into. The future is something you create. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a clear purpose. When you know your why, you can handle any how. Most people drown in problems because they stare at the wall. Leaders look for the door. The door is always there. You just have to change your focus to see it. Stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start asking, how can this happen for me? Every problem is either a weight that crushes you or a stone that you step on to rise higher. Pain is the price of growth. Love is the reward. Think again about Justin. He didn't choose his pain. He didn't ask to lose his daughter. But he did choose his meaning. He did choose his focus. He did choose his direction. And that choice made all the difference. He could have asked, why me? Why my family? Why my daughter? But instead, he asked, how can I honor her? How can I celebrate her? How can I turn this into a legacy of love? That's RPM in real life. The result, to honor and celebrate his daughter. The purpose, because love never dies, because her story must continue, because he wanted to heal his family. The massive action plan, scholarship funds, memorial runs, stronger family connection, daily running to feel her presence. That is not theory. That is not philosophy. That is life. That is leadership. Leaders don't wait for perfect conditions. Leaders create conditions. Leadership is not found in the absence of pain. Leadership is found in the middle of it. Your scars are not proof that you are broken. Your scars are proof that you survived. So here's the truth, life will always test you. Sometimes with stress. Sometimes with loss. Sometimes with pain so deep you don't think you can stand. But you can stand. You can rise. You can lead. You are not a victim of life. You are the designer of it. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not finished. You are only beginning. So take the tool. Take the system. Take the belief. Use RPM. Lead yourself. Design your life and remember, nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it. Choose a meaning that makes you stronger. Choose a meaning that makes you free. Choose a meaning that makes you alive.
Please like and subscribe for more videos.